Chat. Should I fold up in no yoga mat? Woo! What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Spirited Sundays.
She's back. Yeah.
I said we party and we pray, on Spirited a Sunday. Name that reference, and I'ma send you $5. I'm gonna Apple Cash you $5. You name that laugh reference. Hey y'all, what's up? Chat. Should I fold up in your yoga mat? Okay, what's up and welcome back to Spirited Sundays, y'all, where we get into faith, feelings, and fun shit. It's your girl Spirit. I am so happy to be here, to be back. I have a beautiful sign behind me that my lovely sister donated to the show, and I'm just like, I've had this sign for a year, and I haven't used it, but now look at me. Using it, look at me. Doing what I said I would. Shout out to last episode's theme. Today, we're going to talk about solo travel, the effects of my fast, and how you can heal after grief or heartache or romantic relationships or death. Okay, so it's kind of giving power-packed episode, and then at the end, of course, I have to talk about music and fun shit and things that have been going on. So buckle up, friends. It's time for the ride. Yeah, buckle it up. Okay, so first things first, before I could even get into the episode, I was given some information to give out to whom it may concern. If you are falling flat on your ass right now or going through something that you can't explain, but it's not good, it's feeling a little traumatic, a little chaotic, we're losing our grip on things, you are not in alignment. If you are falling on your ass right now and having a hard time, this is the universe's wake-up call that you need to have a direct shift in your behavior. And for those of us who are glowing and flowing and gliding into this energetic new year, the lunar new year is starting soon, then you know you are in alignment. But if life is whooping your ass right now, I don't know where this is coming from, but if it's whooping your ass, there is a direct self-sabotaging behavior that you are engaging in, and you know you should be doing better. There could be a lack of responsibility with yourself and your care. Okay. Don't shoot the messenger, baby, okay? I just was told to give that as a direct warning before we get into the episode, so let's get into it. Okay, so today, I wanted to do something a little quirky and fun with my look. So I went with this long sleeve sheer top, this dress from Forever 21, and then I did my take on like a double belt moment. When all the Western theme was like kind of big, I love the looks that had like a lot of belts on. So I was like, let me see what I can do. And this is an H&M belt and an Amazon belt. And I just think they add like a fun pop and pizzazz. I'll post the look right here on the side. I'll wear some baggy jeans with it. And I don't know, I just feel cute. I just feel like it worked, so shout out to it. All right, guys. Recapping from last episode, if you haven't seen it, we talked about the energy of last year versus the energy of this year, and a lot of journeys that I was starting, because I feel like if you don't direct your life in where you want it to go, your life can just kind of end up floating along or like no progress. And so for me, I shared about like my financial fitness, my faith, my physical fitness, and just kind of what I wanted to see, some side quests that I plan on doing, and what I wanted to see for myself, and to show that like it's okay to be like on mad journeys at one time, because at least that means you're directing your time and your energies towards specific targets. And you will be surprised at what you might be able to do, friend. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's do an energy report. I know, glowing, tan. That's right, baby. I just came off of the shores of Puerto Rico, mommy, okay? I just took a solo vacation to Puerto Rico. Now, girl, I wanted to get into like my thought process behind this trip and how I'm really a new bitch. This is not who you're used to. You've never met me like this. Like, I took this solo trip, y'all, and when I tell you, brain chemistry altered, dreams obliterated, mind shattered. Like, so the impetus of this trip was I had been dealing with so much grief at the end of last year, and I wanted something to do for myself. And I was actually going to go and see my parents in Atlanta. And I was like, dang, I keep sacrificing all my free time to like go see family. But you know, I love my family. You know, we do have a limited amount of time, so I try to spend the time that I can with them. However, my mom hit me up like, hey, don't come to Atlanta. It's going to be a snowstorm. And I was like, wow, I should have just stuck with my original plan of going to Puerto Rico. And then I'm talking to a friend that I had just met, and they were like, yeah, we're going to Puerto Rico. And I was like, wait. I was about to go to Puerto Rico. What you mean you're going to Puerto Rico? So when they said they was about to go to Puerto Rico and they had these thoughts of running into me, I was like, you know what? Let me dial in and see if I can find my way to Puerto Rico. And girl, I went. I got me a cute little hacienda, a little apartamento to live in. My flight round trip was $200 before the bags. It was a little more after the bags. And then my place to stay, like, I was just like, bow, 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 bow. Look at God. Look at God. You guys, thank you for the snowstorm, okay? Because I went down to Puerto Rico and lived my best life, baby. A beady beady bomba. I know she's Mexican, but whatever. That wasn't bad taste, was it? Okay, because they speak in Spanish. Okay. So I was down in Puerto Rico living my best life. When I tell you, look after look after look after look, I was serving the girls and the boys. I'm having fun. I'm flirting. I'm kissing. I'm going to clubs. I'm going out to eat. I'm just breathing. And nobody was giving a fuck about what I had going on. And that is the beauty of a solo trip. I know some folks is out there scared to go out on vacation by yourself. But trust me, if you just can give yourself some pockets of time where you do not need to consider anybody, you make choices on your own, you listen to your gut, you listen to your intuition, and you look out for yourself, and you have the kind of day that you want to have. Like on this trip, I was sleeping in. When I'm at home, I wake up early, I gotta get to it, hustle, bustle, grind. But on this trip, I slept in till 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and I was like, wow, this is rare for me. And no one gave a damn because I was there by myself. And of course, I like met people, and like when people see you sitting at a bar by yourself or at a restaurant, they will come up and talk to you. So going somewhere by yourself does not mean that you're going to just be by yourself. It gives you a chance to see how you interact with the world, how you interact with other people, and like just what you attract to you. And I think that that's so amazing because I was feeling so sexy. When I tell you, When I tell you, I had my thongkini on the beach. I'm looking like a chocolate glazed donut. And I am hearing that salsa music and I'm walking down like, no, no, bebe, bombita. No, baby, pa. Yeah, give me a pina colada. Me punta pupurara. Hola, mami, que take my picture for me. Like, girl, I was having a time, okay? They was eating it up. I was eating it up. I got to see some things like salsa night clubbing and just the energy of Puerto Rico. I could not explain. I could not explain why it felt so good to me. Like, it felt so good to me that I was on the beach and I'm thinking of ideas and I'm like, how can I come back here? How can this be my life? And I have been on a tour for a new home. I've loved New York. It's hard to get me to leave New York. I eat, sleep, breathe New York. But babe, I wouldn't mind adding a couple shakes of Puerto Rico into my New York pie. Yeah, my New York pizza pie, put a little bit of Puerto Rico on the top, papa. It's funny because I can't see myself this time in this episode, so who knows what I'm looking like, you guys. Yeah, girl, I'm about to move to Puerto Rico. Long story short. Long story short, short story long, baby. People was like, how is Puerto Rico? I said, bitch, I'm Puerto Rican. Es la isla de encanto, me encanto. I've been enchanted. I have been taken advantage. I am feeling light, love, new joy, new inspiration. I had ChatGPT up all night. I gave that girl $8 like, hey, baby, make a plan for me to succeed online so that I can do my thing in Puerto Rico. I want a 1-year strategy plan. Here's $8. Feed mama what she wants. Okay. I love y'all. But I'm getting the fuck on. No, but seriously, y'all, I was doing things I had never done. I was running in the water. I was like, hey, y'all, I'll be right back. I'm about to go float. And I just run off and like lift up and I start floating. I have never floated like that in my life. Girl, I was floating all over after that. I'm lifting up and I'm like spinning around and I'm like, whoa, I trust God. I ain't even falling. I'm floating. I'm feeling free. I'm feeling relaxed. This is new. Like, girl, I am here. Puerto Rico, I am yours. Like, I was there for 2.5, just shy of 3 days. And, baby girl, I'm trying to fuck with that pimpin' for real, for real. So, yeah, it's giving new dreams. It's giving new desires. And so, I wanted to talk to you guys about why Puerto Rico was so cool to me is because I gifted myself the gift of an astrocartography reading session. Okay, yes, for my birthday in 2024, I knew that I was ready to leave and move from New York. But I wanted to be intentional about it. Now me, I'm gonna give it up for big God all day. But I fuck with astrology, you know what I'm saying? So if you ain't really into the signs, no harm, no foul. You're just not going to get the knowledge and benefits of learning a little bit more about yourself and what could align to you. But that's your life, not mine. That's your life, not mine. I'm into the signs. So if you've ever heard of a birth chart reading, that's when they take like the day you were born, the time you were born, and the location you were born. And they kind of like give you just maybe like a profile of the energy that was affecting the earth that day at that specific time, which could be affecting you. So I did an astrocartography reading with my friend Shadonis. And astrocartography is when they take the same information, your birth date, your birth time, and your birth location, and then they kind of like superimpose it on the globe. And so what it does is show you where your energy might be affected in different places on the planet. Now these readings cost a little money, okay? I paid $150 for a 30-minute reading. I wanted the big boy for an hour for $300. But I wasn't quite able to do that right then and now, but I might go back and get it. Okay, so She had Puerto Rico on my list, but I couldn't remember for what. So I go, when I get back from the trip, I'm so inspired to like get to ideating and strategizing and planning. I'm like, what did Puerto Rico represent? Girl, why I open the book and it say workcation? I was like, what about this place is making me want to work? It's making me want to earn my living here. And it was a place that is on my Mercury line, but a place that I would enjoy working and vacationing. And the idea that I have, I'm like, okay, I could have me a little boutique or something out here, would be me working and vacationing at the same time. Funny how it affected me like that. Now I know. You're probably like, girl, that's just a fluke. I actually started visiting all the cities. When I had that reading with her, I started visiting all the cities that were of interest to me, that looked like they would affect me energetically really well. So Houston was one of the cities. I went to go see one of my best friends out there. Houston wasn't cute. So I was like, I can't live here. It's fun, but it's kind of giving me like a little bit of a ghetto Atlanta. I already can't live in Atlanta. Atlanta on my astrocartography, that's my hometown. Girl, I can't live in Atlanta because I'm too active socially in Atlanta. Like, and she said that too. She was like, I feel like Atlanta is kind of where like your social life is really big. And I was like, yes, girl. I would never be at home. So I knew Atlanta wasn't gonna work because I still need time to focus and build myself and build my brand and to go out when I kind of want to, but not in a place that I feel pulled to go out Monday through Sunday. Chicago was on the list. I went to Chicago for my birthday. Could I live in Chicago? Maybe for about 3 months out of the year. That baby was cold. I said, ain't no way I'm leaving the cold to go somewhere colder. But did the energy of the city resonate with me? Yes, it did. Then we was talking about LA, and I said, now girl, you know I'm an actress. Hollywood, here I come. And I was thinking of moving to LA. I could keep my job. It would be easy transition for me. And so I had plans to move to LA at the top of next year. And then I went to Puerto Rico. And baby, I'm not gonna lie, a little bit of a slower life where I'm feeling sexy and fun and cute, and I can do my business online. You might see me a little bit more, friend. Yeah. Where I can thrive and be at peace and be having a quiet, beautiful life that just feels really good to me. I never considered an island as an option. Like I considered it in my big dreams, like, oh my God, I'd love to live on an island one day. That's impossible. Girl, Puerto Rico said, no, it's not impossible at all. And if you want it, we right here. And if you want it, if you want it, if you want it. I want you, baby. I'm coming. I'm coming. So I'm working a new plan, baby. Y'all gonna see the palm trees in the background of my apartment. I started looking up apartments, girl. I said, this solo trip changed my life. God damn, I gotta get in key. All right, somebody send me a vocal coach. Thank you. Yeah, so that's it, girls. If you guys are into the stars and want to know kind of like what places on the planet would resonate well with you and boys, then you should definitely look into your astrocartography. And I feel like every time I enter my information into a different platform or system, I get different answers. So I like that I went with Shadanis because she's a human doing her own thing, and she has felt the most resonant. But you could put the same information in ChatGPT if you want to. I'm just saying, I don't know if that girl gonna be accurate all the way. And don't get to coming at me saying that I told you to do ChatGPT. I told you to go to Shadanis. Okay. Oh yeah, I was just saying in my notes, that's how I use AI. I'm trying to make sure that I am up on game on the most current technology, but I don't really be caring about AI that much. So using it to strategize and plan and build like a business partner, that to me has been the most effective form for myself. So besides, if you're not trying to make a move, if you just have a long-term goal, I think that ChatGPT could be really good because I was like, let's break it down month by month. I added in DJ school. I added in the ideas of the social media that I want to expand on. I talked about Spirited Sundays and thought about how can I expand on that. My hair product and how can I expand on that. So it was really nice to see myself feeling refreshed and energized and wanting to plan something. It's been a minute since I felt like that. Like I had my businesses, I restarted my business last year. I was applying to go to Yale for acting last year. Um, but this gave me a different fire that I haven't felt in a minute. So I'm super excited to see myself see it through. Like I really do have a new energy this year, and it really does. I don't know. That fire horse really got me going. That fire horse really got me going. It really do. I feel great. I feel so beautiful and blessed. And we're going to segue into why I feel so great. So I ended my 21-day Daniel's fast in Puerto Rico. I ain't going to lie, it was a day early. I said, hey, Big G.O.D., you already know I'm about to land on an island. I'm going to eat vegetables and beans all the way through till I get to the airport. And even on the plane, I just had raw almonds. I said, but big guy, not the little one, when I land, I am putting a piece of seafood in my mouth. And I did. And did. From the time I got to the airport, the energy was so good. People was just speaking to me at the airport, speaking to me on the plane, speaking to me in an Uber, speaking to me everywhere that I went in Puerto Rico. And I thought that was so sweet because I'm like, no, y'all really loving me in the Rico. Y'all really loving me. And I felt so great because the previous 21 days I had spent fasting. And I was in a time of fasting and prayer. I have to show y'all this pic of a 3-week difference between my face and the inflammation versus me going on the Daniel's fast and eating clean and having no animal products and no alcohol and no processed food and no sugars and no white breads. Girl, in 3 weeks, my face said, like it really gave. It gives. So I was in Puerto Rico doing my thing, but I didn't go too hard, baby. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't just stuffing my face all of a sudden. I wasn't just getting so fucked up with alcohol because I was like, I'm here to enjoy myself, but also I really enjoy the results of my fast. And I took pictures of the meals that I ate. So I'm thinking like, one of my ideations is to like come up with some kind of like either blog or Substack where I can just share a little bit more deeply into the things that I'm talking about on Spirited Sundays and into travel wear and resort wear. That's what really ignited me out there, was getting dressed and being like, now I could really help the girls look cute on an island, but also I can help the girls feel cute on the inside. So yeah, I'm going to put the recipes up that I was using for the fast, the mentality that I had, the smoothies that I had. When you're fasting, you are hungry sometimes. That's just what it's going to be. And you have to get used to that because the point is to sacrifice things that are overly pleasurable in the hopes of gaining clarity, discipline, willpower. And for me, it was very spiritual. I was praying every morning, leaning on God, asking for guidance. And I have met people and had experiences that I feel, had I not created space in my life via the fast, I wouldn't have had the exact same experience. So, feeling really proud of myself for kind of sticking through that, going out to the club still, or like the hookah lounge, and I still did not drink. I did not partake in anything. And I was like, you a strong ass girl. Like, I'm a strong woman. I'm a grown woman. I could do whatever I want. I'm so proud of myself, friend. So that fast kind of opened my eyes. And after I came back from vacation, I was like, and let's go back to that. Let's go back to eating like that. I'm going to incorporate more protein because I did slim down, but I don't know, friend. I don't know. I like to have a little butt on me. I like to have a little something for somebody to jiggle a little bit, you know? So I did lose, I think, around at least 10 pounds in that first month. Um, but yeah, so I'm gonna eat clean, but I'm just gonna add a little chicken. Add a little steak. Maybe put a little seafood in that plate. You feel me? But I'm just so ecstatic at the results of this fast. And I encourage you, if you want to cleanse, detox, restructure, rebuild, get your glow back. That was so important to me. I feel like at the end of the year, I had lost my glow. Like, niggas ain't coming up to me saying I'm glowy no more. And what's the problem? Because she always shining. So I said, if the shine ain't shining, we got to get back to aligning. That's a bar. I wanted to get into the stages of healing after like grief or a breakup or a friendship, because that was like the last 6-7 months of 2025 for me. Can we have a longer episode this time? Are you okay with that? Give me 10 minutes. Okay. Just because I just didn't want to let this linger anymore. I think it's, for me to get to the point of taking the solocation and doing the fast, it was because I had gone through this process of grief. And I just wanted to quickly just share my experience with it for anybody who might be sad or going through a loss or anything like that. These are the stages that I went through. Number one was initial sadness. And this initial sadness was the split. And I didn't even necessarily I had two grievances. I ended a relationship and my grandmother died. And so my initial sadness, I really tried to let myself be sad. And I think sometimes we try to hold on and act so strong and so tough. I was like, I know that emotions are energy in motion, and I can be powerful enough to just allow the sadness to kind of flow, allow myself to cry randomly, depending if I thought about my grandmother or a future that was not going to be the same anymore. Allow myself to be sad. And you'll be surprised at how quickly sadness can move through you when you don't suppress it. The next stage that I went through was anger, actually. I was angry at my relationship ending. I was angry at my ex for not being able to pull it together or not doing what needed to be done for us to be able to make something that was sustainable. I was angry at myself for not walking away when I felt like I should have been gone. I was angry at my Nana for dying. Girl, you are my best friend. I don't know what to tell you, but why are you just gonna leave? I knew she was sick the whole year, but when she died, I was angry at the process of the funeral. I was angry at not being included in certain stuff. And so there was a lot of anger. And in the time of the anger, what I thought was most important is to tell people what I was going through. Because there's a caution when you're angry and when you're sad, is that you can allow your mind to spiral and you feel alone and you get caught up in your vices. And so I wanted people to know what I was going through. I had to call my friends first when I was grieving. And it's not because they didn't know that I was grieving. They might not have known that I was grieving, actually. But it's I have to allow my friend to be a friend. So if I don't open the door and pick up the phone and say, hey, my friend was like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, my grandma died. And it was 2 days after she died. So I processed for 2 days by myself. But then I was so sad and feeling so many emotions. And I wanted some comfort. Now, how would my friend know my grandma died? I did not post it nowhere. I did not say it nowhere. And then I could just be at home nobody cares about me. No one's checking on me. But instead, I reached out to her and she poured into me and she loved me through that process. And I did that with all of my friends. And it felt so nice to allow my friends the opportunity to be a friend to me. Because as the strong friend, it's hard to say, I need you right now. I need some love right now. I need some help right now. We can be so prideful and stubborn and not get what we need. So it felt really good to just pick up the phone, baby, and let somebody know what you're going through so that your mind does not consume you and your vices, drinking, smoking, drugs, whatever, does not consume you and swallow you. I wanted to keep myself from going under because life was really knocking a bit. after the sadness and anger, I kind of moved into a mini crash out phase where I did let the vices win for a couple of days. But then I started to bring myself back and I got into an acceptance of this is done or this person is not here. And I had to make a new reality and a new way of thinking about it. So with the acceptance, it was so important for me, like with my grandmother, was like she's transitioned, she's transformed. So no, maybe I can't call her, but she's not just gone. I have not been abandoned. And with the relationship, it was like just because it ended, that didn't mean that that was a waste of time. I've grown so much. I'm so much more clear about who I am, what I want, and what I want to deal with. So what a win. You know, like I got to experience a love and relationship in a certain way, and I got to grow up within it, and I am so grateful because look at me. I'm thriving right now. And I just didn't want to think like I just wasted my time for 5 years. Like that was my life. That wasn't just time passing. That was time spent. And so that's what I did with acceptance. I also didn't allow myself to fantasize about the things that made me walk away. Once you start accepting like this person might not ever be in your life, it can be easy to slip back and go back to the ex to spin the block. And I was like, don't romanticize the past, because there were reasons why you decided to do the hard choice of moving forward and closing a chapter. And if you were wondering what God's best for you might look like while you were with them, then that's not God's best for you. Okay. And apologizing to myself was something that was also really, really important. I apologized to my heart. I apologized to my body. I apologized to my mind, and apologizing to myself to just say, "Hey, I still got you. I know you're sad. I know we have to move forward, but like I got your back." And so during that time frame, I surrounded myself with my friends. I went on a trip to Miami with my friends. My other friend came to New York for her birthday, and I just got to be so loved on. And I allowed myself to be loved and seen in this process. And I think that that really helped. And then after that comes the fun part. After accepting that that person is gone or that relationship or that friendship, you get to dream a new dream. And I am somebody who loves to dream and plan and have visions of what the future could be because we are always creating the future with our present moment. And so if I thought I was going to be going over here with you and doing this with you and that is not the case anymore, what about me? What would make me happy? What do I want to pursue? Who do I want to be? What path do we want to go on now? And so after you accept the loss or the grief, it's like you get to kind of just use your imagination again and have some fun. And if you've been meaning to make a radical change, why not let that be the change? Do the move, quit the job, go to a new city. Like, it's never too late to come up with a new plan for yourself. And y'all are about to see that with me because I'm always dreaming and striving and pivoting and learning and growing. But I just think it all adds to the richness and fullness of life. And so in that, all that to say is that if you are going through a process or a season where it feels like you are grieving or shedding or things are dying off in your life, feel your emotions, but don't fantasize and romanticize about what could have been or what was. Don't let yourself get caught up in vices. Instead, like, hold on to yourself. Allow people to be there to love you. Open your mouth about what you're going through. And it will pass. Time actually does help. Meeting people helps. Trying new things helps. And I really wish that on anybody who might need that right now. And so to wrap up the episode, thank you for letting me share that with you. I just want us to remember how powerful our minds are. When I was like, I don't want to be sad for a long time with the breakup, I was like, I don't know. I just feel like kind of happy and free and relieved. And my therapist was like, that's okay. And I think I felt guilty because I was like, Well, every time you see anything about a breakup, they tell you like you should be sad right now. It takes half the time of the relationship is how much time it takes to get over it. And it's like, well, if you was over that shit while you was in that shit, babe, you might be able to go down a different emotional path than what they talking about. I'm just saying, I don't make the rules, I break the rules, and I create the rules for myself, okay? Let's finish off with some fun shit. Girl, 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 girl. I am loving Don Toliver's album. I'm thinking about how I'm gonna do my music YouTube because I'm gonna start a new page. We might just have to have listening parties where, friend, we're gonna listen to the albums together and I'm gonna dance with you and we're gonna react to it. So I don't know. Let me know what y'all would wanna see because I know some people do reaction videos, but I don't wanna be talking over the music. I don't like when people talk over the music. So my reactions might be like facial expressions like, oh. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to see my reactions based on how the music is making me feel. Other things is all that music that I was learning in Puerto Rico. Shout out to Bad Bunny winning the Album of the Year Grammy. I found some new DJs online. So I've been listening to a lot of like salsa music, having so much fun with that. I'm going to put a couple songs up there that I like. And then, child, why I pissed the internet off again? They was in my comments calling me a prostitute. It's so funny because now I'm like getting a little bit of pleasure out of this. But I put a thread up. It's thread. Girl, they be mad at me on threads. I put a thread up and I said, when it comes to dating, I don't even care about feelings no more for real. What you gonna do for Big Mama for real? Girl, the man was in there like, well, you might as well just put a price tag on it. See, fellas, low vibrational, toxic, let her go. No, yeah, I got $40 for you. I'm going to go back home to my wife. You might as well sell on the street with all that talk. And I was just like, guys, I said, I don't care about feelings. What you going to do for Big Mama for real? Nobody said, I'm going to add value. I'm going to invest in your mind. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to provide. Like, niggas could not think of nothing that they could offer besides money and peen. And I hate that for the boys. I hate that for the boys. Let's pray for the boys. Dear God, help the men heal. Help them find their value. Help them love themselves. Okay? I love you guys. Thanks so much for joining. Mwah. We party and we pray, 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 pray. Bye.